The air hung heavy and humid. The jungle pressed in on all sides, vines twisted like grasping claws, reaching for the crumbling stone of the Kala Mandir, the Black Temple. It was a scar upon the beautiful landscape of Odisha, a place where shadows danced and whispers lingered. Aarav, a journalist from the bustling streets of Delhi, pushed through the dense foliage. His footsteps were the only sound in the unnerving silence. He scoffed at the stories, the superstitious whispers that clung to the ruins like cobwebs. He was here to disprove a myth, to expose the truth behind the legends. Aarav adjusted the camera bag slung over his shoulder. The temple loomed larger with every step. Its crumbling facade was etched with strange symbols, grotesque figures contorted in eternal agony. He had seen pictures, of course, but nothing could prepare him for the sheer oppressive weight of the place. It was as if the jungle itself was trying to swallow the temple whole, to hide it from the eyes of the world. He had come seeking a story. What he found was a nightmare. Savitri, the village elder, had warned him. Her eyes, rheumy with age, held a deep and ancient fear. The Kala Mandir is cursed, she had pleaded, clutching his arm with surprising strength. It hungers. It takes. Aarav had smiled politely, attributing her words to the ramblings of an old woman. He knew better than to believe in fairy tales. He had his logic, his reason, his camera to capture the truth. But as he stepped into the shadow of the temple, a shiver ran down his spine. The air grew colder, the silence more profound. The sunlight seemed to shy away, as if afraid to penetrate the darkness that clung to the stone. He could almost hear Savitri's voice on the wind, a mournful whisper echoing through the trees. "Turn back, while you still can." Aarav shook his head, pushing away the unease that threatened to consume him. He was a journalist, a man of science and logic. He would not be swayed by superstition. He would see this through to the end. The interior of the temple was a labyrinth of crumbling corridors and dark chambers. The air was thick with the smell of decay and something else, something ancient and unholy. The symbols he had seen on the outside were everywhere, etched into the walls, carved into the pillars that strained to hold up the decaying roof. They seemed to writhe and twist in the flickering beam of his flashlight, like living things trapped in the stone. He stumbled upon a large chamber, its center dominated by a black altar. Dried blood stained its surface, a testament to rituals long past. On the wall behind it, a complex geometric pattern, a yantra, pulsed with an eerie inner light. As he approached, the air crackled with unseen energy. His camera, held loosely in his hand, flickered and died. A low chant seemed to rise from the very stones themselves, a guttural sound that sent shivers down his spine. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through Aarav's resolve. He was alone, truly alone, in a place untouched by time and reason. The darkness seemed to press in on him, suffocating him, whispering his name. He stumbled back, his foot catching on something hard and unyielding. He shone his flashlight down and gasped. A human arm, severed cleanly at the elbow, lay on the ground before him. Its flesh was pale and bloodless, the fingers curled into a grotesque parody of a greeting. Panic, raw and primal, surged through him. He had to get out, had to escape this nightmare, but the shadows had other plans. They seemed to writhe and grow, stretching out from the corners of the chamber like living things. They wrapped around him, cold and insubstantial, yet impossibly strong. He struggled against their grip, his heart pounding against his ribs, his breath coming in ragged gasps. The chanting grew louder, the air thick with the smell of blood and fear. He was being pulled towards the altar, towards the pulsing yantra, towards a fate too horrible to contemplate. His screams were swallowed by the darkness. The last thing he saw, before the shadows claimed him entirely, was the yantra, blazing with an unholy light. The search party found his camera a week later, discarded near the edge of the jungle. It was battered and broken, its lens cracked. But the memory card was still intact. The images it contained sent a chill through even the most hardened police officers. There were pictures of the temple, of the strange symbols, of the black altar, and then the final image. It showed Aarav, his face contorted in a mask of terror, his eyes wide with an unholy light. Standing behind him, their hands resting on his shoulders, were figures cloaked in shadow. Their faces were hidden, but their eyes burned with a cold, malevolent fire. The eyes of predators finally claiming their prey. The Kala Mandir had claimed another victim. The curse lived on.